All right, here we go. We've got game number four, get round four. If you haven't checked out the other rounds, be sure to do that of my top 64 run here in the Top Cut Treasure Cup. So you go ahead. It's another Zoro playing Buggy. One Zoro did make it into the top eight. Did he whiff? Yeah, he did whiff, which was off too. It was a great start for me. Unfortunate start for them because, of course, he's essentially starting the game off with four cards, which puts me at a huge advantage. I'm trying to think of what I want. Always, again, make sure to check because I've so many times grabbed cards that were already in my hand, and I'm like, oh wait, I already had one. Didn't need one. Let's see. Do I want this? It's probably Thatch. It's giving Thatch. It's an ace. But yeah, no, grab the ace. It is like the best card. Of course, opening to Ezo, also very strong. Guaranteed pretty much not to whiff since like my whole deck is Whitebeard. Previously, I've whiffed like Ezo and Buggy, so I really just enjoyed that. Yeah, grab a Flame Emperor. Love this card against Zoro. Helps put pressure, helps remove like their one big drop. I would use it on the six or on Marco since that was pretty much their biggest character. But yeah, when they're at 2 life, you can use that and do a big push for game and require them to just have it. Of course, Zoro playing more defensive events. Not uncommon. Yeah, so now he's starting off with that 5. No Dodon either, so probably see an Ezo come down here. Since they're all just playing the Buggy Whitebeard package, since that's still like the best package out there, and you get Haruta. Haruta also really good in Zoro because you can play your Dawn and also get the ability for free, which really just helps maximize and increase efficiency. But yeah, whiffing is so like it's pretty much just going -1. Yeah, playing Haruta, of course, one of the best parts. Using the ability, and then he can do like one on Buggy, go 5/6. Probably just taking some time looking through the lines because one of the things is, of course, like typically you have time unless you're playing like a deck like Queen or Nami, which again they don't need that much thinking, real talk, outside of like stacking your life. But yeah, it's super important. And then yeah, playing an Ezo saving me that extra attack, so that's appreciated. But again, that Haruta is going to generate a crazy amount of value. I do not play Vista, and I only have Marco that can potentially out that unless he swings with it. A Nemule, a big fan of that card. I played Nemule in my top 64 deck at the Treasure Cup when I went 7-2. Losing the first round, of course, like just tanking those tiebreakers. We go 5. Now the question is, do I want to go like 6? Do I want to go 3? But of course, at the same time, my Ezos carry massive value in this matchup solely because I can use them to swing on his characters. We just go ahead and drop that at Atmos, the perfect 4 curve. And then, of course, he has to swing up on that. So big donk commitment on their side to come up to that Atmos if they wish to try to remove it. But Zoro can swing on it for free, essentially. So they're at 5. They could smack an unblockable Luffy, go 5-7, or go 6-7 because of Haruta. Again, just huge, huge. Keep track of how many cards they have, 6, because I do want to dwindle that. And there, of course, as they play bodies, we'll do that unless the bodies replace themselves, which is what was so good about Zoro. But the hand can deplete quickly, especially when they have events like Fire Fist. Fire Fist also being a great card. It's searchable both off of Buggy and Ezo, and combos well with Gordon. Another Haruda. Now this is where it's like, okay, well this is a problem because he's gonna get 2 free Dawn. So like the buggy swings for free, and the Ace or the Zoro is gonna like get the ability for free, and that's a problem. Huge value on his side. He goes 7. It's 6. He did this, but like yeah, I was like it's fine. But he forgot to attach the Dawn with Haruda effect. By the way, you do not have to let that happen because it technically was 6. And some people will call you on that. So like your opponent might not be that nice about it. So do be careful. I was like, it's okay. Like it was going to happen. That was the correct play. It wasn't anything huge. Obviously, it was huge on my side, but double 7's coming at my face. I just go ahead, I'll allow it. But it doesn't, necessarily like they did that. Yeah, I'm going to go 3 at the buggy. I've got 5. I think I see the 5-drop Marco here. And then I'm going to pop that Haruda. Go 6 at lead just in case of the jet pistol. I actually think this is a jet pistol because I just knew it. That's why I was like, I got to swing here first. He was just looking at Buggy's effect because I was calling out that my thing was like ranged instead of just strike. He's like, I didn't even know Buggy had that. But yeah, this is gonna hurt. I'm so sure that this was a jet pistol because I was like, I could feel it. And again, it's important to swing just like if you're playing against green and you have a 4, it's important to lead with the 4 just because there is that Gibson. If you have more than one 4, there's no way around it. But you do want to try to play around those events. Fire Fist doesn't hit him, but the jet pistol does. So same with like Flame Emperor. Flame Emperor will hit him. I've got a ton of cards in hand. I'm rocking it. Yeah, he takes it. No trigger. Huh. Five, play the Marco. I was so hyped. The one of pop that Haruda. Get it out of here. Because 2 Harudas would have been a problem because it just runs away and you get those swings. Because reusing 2 Dawn at like 10, he has 12. And that's just big value. And then let's see swings with it out of the way. But yeah, I'm at 2 life. He's at 3. Kind of low on the cards. He's got 5. I probably got like 7 or 8. And I've got a huge board. So not only that, but I have board advantage on top of hand size advantage. And when they have 1 life difference. So I'm feeling good. He has to swing up onto the Atmos. And then I also, like, if I have Ace, I searched Ace. So I can drop down that Ace and then clear. Like, so if he swings with, like, Haruda or Izo, I'm going to clear it super easy. And then I can go 5, 6, 7, 7. Which would be very strong. So I could clear it. Like, if he swings with those bodies, I can clear them because of Ace. And then I can go 5 with lead. 6, I have 1 Dawn extra. So I could go 7, and then I could go 7. And it's going to put a lot of pressure on his life and his hand. And he needs, like, he could potentially have no bodies if he attacks. So, it'll put me in a great, strong spot. And, of course, again, like, it's okay to take time to think. Because, these games do matter, of course. And typically, like, especially when you're playing red, you won't go into time. And your opponents, of course, will you're allowed to think like these plays definitely matter. You have 45 minutes in total, which you just should never use because you got 5 minutes overtime or like 2 turns. I think it's technically 2 turns, but you should be fine. Sanji did not expect this, and again, like that Haruda would have been huge. He could have played the Sanji and got the full value out of the Sanji with the rush, and he's gonna because like when I was building Zoro, I was experimenting with the Sanji because I made it like rush recklessly. So he's going 7 at my face. That hurts, and like if it puts me down to 1, I have to guard that last life just because the Jambe. So I'm really sitting here. Do I want to? Is this where I start countering? Is this where I start protecting myself, or do I just take it? Yeah, I just go ahead and counter. Give him the Otama, just because Otama doesn't have a ton of value here in this matchup, and then the Atmos. If he played like big beaters, you know that Otama has a lot of value for the Flame Emperor. However, if he plays 9 drop, I mean, good for him. Now, he probably, like, ideally he goes Iso into Iso, then just Iso is Iso back. And then he possibly swings with Haruta. I've got 7 cards in hand. He's got 5, maybe 5 after he plays the Sanji, yeah. So I've got 4 characters on board. 7 cards in hand. He goes 6. I definitely counter. I countered out of 7. I have to counter out of 6. It makes no sense. That's a huge thing too. Some people don't counter out of 5, but then counter out of a 7. Just counter out of the 5. It costs 1 card. So that's one thing you can do. Like if you know 7's coming at you, and there's a 5, just counter the 5. Yeah, I go ahead and give him the Makino. That means I probably don't have any others. Because that Makino is super powerful, because then I can just, for 1 Dawn, I can swing 5 with the Izo. And if I had 2, I can go 8 with the Izo. 9 for 3 Dawn. Goes 3 on the Haruta to go 7. I might just take this because I know I'm going to drop that ace and clear up that board. Yeah, I'm just going to take this. Feeling pretty good about that because now my Izos are both going to clear that Sanji and that Haruta, because Haruta's going to be 0, and it leaves him with 2 bodies. And I just need to be able to stop one of those attacks, and I'm going to put a ton of pressure on that hand with that 5, 6, possibly 7, 7. And then I still have Flame Emperor as well. 1 Dawn, really realizing I have 1 Dawn to work with. I'm going to go 6, just to see in case if it's, oh, no ace? That's crazy. 3 into Haruta. Interesting. Six at lead. Just because the jet pistol. You have to worry about the jet pistol, so I'd probably just do the 6. Even though it's not how I would ideally order it. You kind of just have to. Because, like, I don't want to lose the body and just lose the whole attack if they take it. That is interesting, though. I wonder why I didn't ace. Or if I ace later. This jet pistol. Yeah, see? See, that's why you swing with the character first, just in case. Yeah, he pops the Atmos just because it's guaranteed the body to be gone. And we just kind of, I was like, I knew it. I was like, it's got to be jet pistol, right? 5. Oh, I might just play a blocker here. Maybe a 5, yeah. I think I just played the Marco blocker. I think I had the Marco blocker, and that just makes the most sense. I get the 1 of. Sweet. Yeah, I'm going to play Marco blocker. That's the only reason I didn't play Ace, just because having that blocker while I'm at 1, he's going to have 2 attacks. I'm guaranteed to stop 1, and it makes him have to be a little more conservative, because like if you go 7, I can stop it for 1 card. So if you go like 9, I can stop a 9 swing for 1, and it makes you just have to be very more... Makes you have to be a lot more careful with what you do. Six at my face. Obviously, I want to counter out of this. Yeah, we just give him another Otama. Probably drew that. And of course, him really trying to see, because there's a lot of presence on my board, little presence on his board. And then, of course, if he swings with that Ezo, my Ezos are just going to pick at it. So you got to be very careful. He plays the unblockable Luffy. Super strong. So you can go 7 at my face. 3 Don left, which means Ezo's maybe going... Oh, he's going to do... Yeah, he does 10 unblockable, which means 1, I have to answer this Luffy, but I have Ace. But putting me at 0 life with that unblockable, and if he has another unblockable, I have to be aware of that too, because then he can go 6, and then he can go 11. And so you need the count. You need the count for that. So he goes 10. I'm like, okay, do I stop this? Probably not, right? Like, it's going to cost me a lot of cards. I probably just go to 0, but I definitely do the math first to make sure I can survive on 11. Because you block the 6, probably discard Ace, or maybe I just play Ace here, clear it up. Go Ace, go 5 at the Luffy, go 7, 7. Yeah, 3 into one of the Ezos. Clean up the Ezo for sure. Cool. So go ahead, draw. Still a ton of cards in my hand. He's got 3. He's got 3. So I'm eating really good, but I have no life. I could also Flame Emperor, pop the Luffy, and just go for those last 2. And then go 7. So a lot of options. And then I, of course, can keep that Ace to discard, which I might just Flame Emperor, go 9. I might also just fish a 6 to, like, make him discard a card. That's one of my favorite moves is, like, I go, like, 6 with, like, one of my bodies. And then they discard 1. And then I go Flame Emperor, pop. And then I know, like, you're 1 2k less to stop this. And you need at least 2 2ks and a 1k. So it's super expensive. And so they'll essentially lose 4 cards and a ton of value on it to protect 2 life. And then with 2 cards in hand at 9, it's guaranteed to connect. Really, again, just taking that time to think through these plays. Like, is it, I can play Ace, go 1, go 3 at the Luffy with Iso, and then I can go, like, 5 at the Iso, clean his board, and then go 7, 7 at the face. And then, yeah, it looks like we're going to Flame Emperor. We're going 6 at lead to fish a 2k. And if they don't give me the 2k, I can adjust my plan. If they take it, I don't have to Flame Emperor, and I can play the Ace. And then Makino is the best card we can see here. Because then if he does that, I Flame Emperor. I go Ezo into Ezo. And then I go 9 at his face. And he takes it, he goes to 0. He won't be able to clear my board, and it's forcing him to attempt to go for game next turn. And if he does have unblockable Luffy, he'll only have 2 cards with combo in his hand. So it's like a win-win. Because if he doesn't have unblockable Luffy, he can't win. But always before going to 0, make sure you have mathematically a way to counter out of unblockable Luffy. I go 6 at the Luffy to see if he's going to give me the Luffy. Even better, to see if he gives me the card. 2 at the Izo. Yep. So now I can just like... Now I can play the Ace too. And just establish another body. But like I go 6 at the Luffy. If he protects it, I'm going to Flame Emperor it. And then go like 7. Now it's like, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Do I go 7, 7, leave 1 Dawn up? I'm not sure if I have an event in my hand, but that's really just trying to see how do I play this. Because, like, I should win next turn either way just because of the low supply, and assuming he can't clear any of the cards on my board, he has to do a push to win. And back-to-back unblockable Luffy is not bad by any means. It's actually super strong. But me being able to keep his board clear, regardless of having events or not, has been huge. And that's one of the things. They can't go like to Dawn into Izo into Haruta, and like boom, bodies, and you're like boom, I got infinite. But I have a ton of cards in hand, as you can see. So I'm really like, you know, the new 4-drop law is like shambles, and I'm like, oh, my hand. Gonna eight cards in hand. 8. So I'm holding a book. I can also just swing with my Marco. If I really have enough counter, I could go like 7, 7, play nothing, and then pass. The question is also like, you know, like when you deal that damage, you give them extra cards. But I definitely like establishing a body here would be really good. Just really like, you know, does he have the other Luffy? What do I do if he does? I go 5. He's thinking. Because if he doesn't take it, he's down to 2 cards. Assuming one of those are unblockable Luffy, 7 should connect. And then like if you place the unblockable Luffy next turn, he's got like 2 cards, and it's gonna have 4 total. And I can just go 7 because that'll lead 2, 7, that'll lead 2. And then you have no cards, 3 on Izo, and the rest on lead, and they should all connect. If I establish another body, it just prevents like Jet Pistol. But I can also just attach Dawn early for the Jet Pistol. He takes it. So now it's like, okay, well, do I want to swing with my 1? No, I'm going to play 9-drop. Actually, now I remember. The only reason I won this game is 9-drop. But I didn't... I wanted to swing, so... Because I need that 1 Dawn active, I'm pretty sure. And I didn't want him to hit... I did not want him to hit Jet Pistol and pop the Marco. Because if he didn't and he goes 15, I would lose. He could also, if he has Jambe, go 14. But I was factoring in my head a Luffy. And the only way I live this turn is because of Ninebeard. So I had to play, I remember now, I had to play Ninebeard in order to live. Because that literally just got me enough counters. So shout out the old man. I remember now. I remember. This was the only way I didn't lose to unblockable Luffy. Was with a... Yes. But like, again, Jambe, not searchable anymore because you don't have Nami. So I don't even know if people are playing it. If they are, they're playing it at 1. But Jambe would have ruined me. Yeah, I mean, he just gets a 6 swing and like the 12. G5, attach 4. He gets a 6 swing and the 11. And I'm at 7, which really means it just takes 2k to stop it. And so he actually can only do an unblockable, or he has to go 2 Dawn and go 7. And then I block, and then he goes like 10. So it put me in a solid spot. A solid spot. 9 Beard, too strong. Only time he really came up, but like, I mean, all it takes is 1, right? Wow. Yeah, I remember this so hard. This was crazy. He goes 6 at the Marco, trying to bait out a card. I, of course, don't want the Marco to perish. So I can be like, here's the card. But all my events are counter events, so I'm not giving him an event. I'm just thinking about the correct play for me, because I do believe I searched that Ace earlier, because events are counter for me. Events are counter, so we don't want to give up the Flame Emperor. We want to give up the Ace. So we want to go Marco, block, ditch, Ace. We give him a no counter card, and then he's going to have to go up my face. Fiery Doll also would have been kind of wild there. Yeah, I was like, I was mathing, because I was like, I need to make sure I can stop an unblockable Luffy, because my hand is not great in terms of counter. My hand was not phenomenal. I'm just like, you can see me like moving. I'm just adding it up, because I need to make sure my math is not wrong. Now I'm like, okay, I blocked this, because I just don't want to be caught with not enough counter. You never want that. Never want that. Because yeah, I mean, he just has to push for game. Yeah, we block, and then boom, there's that Ace. Because it gets no counter out of my hand, so it costs me nothing. I've got 6 in hand. And he's just like, you know, he's sitting there. He's like, is there any other lines? But at the end of the day, like, unblockable Luffy is probably the only one. Technically, Zoro swings higher. I believe I was mathing for a Zoro. If he goes 3, Zoro goes, because he'll have 6. He gains 7. Zoro will go 12. Luffy goes 11. Zoro goes 12. So I need to make sure I had enough for all instances. Because now I've blocked. So unblockable Luffy is like not the greatest play. Yeah, he plays the unblockable Luffy. Goes 5. He's going to go 4. 11. He goes 11. I'm like, okay, so I go 9, 10, 11, and then Flame Emperor 12. I was like, okay. So, like, I had to keep the events. I did not have enough raw counter. Also, again, just highlighting, it's technically... again, my points are really cool, but technically the phase where you're supposed to activate the Flame Emperor is before. I found out later a judge had gave me the heads up. But if, like, make sure you do that first, because if your opponent does decide to call you on it, you're supposed to discard those first. And I know, like, myself amongst others, and I think the sim, you can just discard them at any point. But do just want to highlight that. Because that is just, it is crucial. Because, like, most of the time, like, you know, like, on the local level, but, like, if somebody is, like, super competitive, they could rule shark you, and then it technically is incorrect by game mechanics. So, yes. So, shout out my opponents. But yeah, just heads up. But thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for the future ones. We're on our way to the finals. I went all the way to the finals. Me and my opponent were the only 8-0 going into the 9th round. But yeah, be sure to subscribe for more One Piece content, and thank you all so much for watching.